It was Thursday afternoon in the second week of July, and I didn't expect to find myself crying in my client's kitchen with her offering me a piece of chocolate, since chocolate always makes you feel better. But here we were. It was 2016, and I was newly self employed since the prior November, completely self employed, no longer employed through anybody else. And I was getting ready for my very first vacation in probably 3 years, where I wouldn't be working inside any of my businesses or anybody else's job. I had woken up on Sunday of the prior weekend and I felt very disconnected from my body. I was not in a good place. I thought maybe I was hungover from the party we'd been at the night before, but I hadn't had enough alcohol for that to be the case. And when I woke up feeling the same way on Monday, I knew that that was definitely not what was going on. I thought I would start to feel better throughout the week, so I went about business as usual, knowing that Friday was my last day of work for a week, and hopefully I would be able to relax and figure out whatever was going on. But as the week went on, and I felt more and more disconnected from my body, and more like I was living in a dream life inside my head, I was doing all of the things that I needed to do. I was taking care of my 8 and 10-year-old children. I was working in my cleaning business and doing a normal job for all of my cleaning clients. But that Thursday afternoon, my client, who is a family friend, asked me how I was doing, and she was the one person that I couldn't fake it to. I knew she would understand what was going on and why I was so troubled by it. I remember thinking, what's wrong with me that I feel like this? Where is this brain fog coming from? As I went to therapy the following week with the new therapist that I had after having a lot of blood work done because I was convinced that there was something physically wrong with me, I learned that I had burnt myself out. So my mental breakdown was from burnout, from working two businesses and trying to build up the cleaning business so that I could leave the other job that I was working inside, and from taking care of my house and taking care of my children and all of the things that come with being a homeowner and a parent. And I had put a lot of pressure on myself. So, my name is Heather Albrecht, and I am the founder of Heather Albrecht Coaching. And really, my coaching practice was born out of this exact moment in my life. I realized that I was stressed and overwhelmed, and that I had done all of this to myself, and that I needed to make some really big changes if I was going to enjoy my life and stop wishing away the moments that I was having now for whatever easier, better moment would come in the future from the fantasy in my head. I realized that there were always going to be adversities and there were always going to be challenging moments in my life. And I had to learn how to be happy now, like today, no matter what was happening, no matter what was going on. And therapy helped with that a lot. Definitely. I'm a big advocate for mental health and therapy. I still see my therapist on a regular basis. And because of my cleaning business, had a lot of time to be able to listen to podcasts and self help books and learn about the brain and learn about meditation and mindfulness and what all of that does for the brain. And I learned a lot during the years that I worked in my cleaning business. I actually just barely closed it about a month ago. And in 2019, I became a financial coach. I felt as if my money habits were a good place for me to put some focus in helping others. And so I'd never really been on a sports team. I was a mountain biker growing up. And so I raced on a mountain bike team, but I did not work on like a sports team where it was like a team playing situation. So I didn't really know what it meant to be a coach. So I spent a lot of time learning to become a coach and what were coaching tools. And it's been It's an enormous passion of mine. I love learning new things. I'm a very curious person. And so learning for me is very exciting and I really love it. So if you're one of my coaching clients, you get a benefit from the fact that I have listened to and read lots of books that you probably don't want to spend your time listening to or reading. I always tell my clients that's one of the benefits is I've got a lot in my brain and I love to give it to others. So, where was I? I lost track of where I was at. That happens. So in 2022, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. It really came out of left field. And coming off of, the pandemic that everybody in the world experienced, this just felt like one more blow. And it really tested me. It tested me a lot. I remember calling up one of my coaches and talking to her and just saying, I can't believe this is happening. And right now, I'm just angry and confused. And I need to get to a place where I can feel as if I'm going to learn something from this. And so that was what I was trying to get to. And I got to that place relatively quickly. Before I actually was formally diagnosed, I was waiting for my biopsy. And I remember thinking, okay, I'm going to learn something from this. It's going to be that I need to do a better job with my self care, or I need to live my life with a little bit more intention rather than um, fluttering through things the way that I do sometimes. And so that was the starting point. And during the year of cancer treatment, I leaned on the tools that I learned in coaching so much. And I found that it seemed like I was doing a real disservice to people by not helping beyond financial coaching. Um, I had started the practice in 2019 as a financial coach, and it felt really weird to try to think about moving away from that. But what's funny is that in 2020, I had a conversation with another financial coach. We were walking on a beach in Vermont. She lives in a travel trailer, and she jet sets across the country, or not jet sets, but RVs across the country. And she was in my neck of the woods, and we got together and we had a beautiful conversation about strength and resilience. And she said to me, I think you need to be a resilience coach. And it seems like more of a life coaching place is where your heart actually is. And I remember being really afraid that that was true because I had just started my business and I didn't want to be changing direction so soon. But during my cancer journey, I realized that that was 100% true. My the perfect client for me is somebody who is very much like myself, an overwhelmed mom who doesn't know how to put the focus on herself, doesn't know how she's going to find the time. But what I've realized is that I needed to change. I needed to expand who I was working with so that I could help a wider variety of people and a bigger audience. I wanted to help people to feel joyful and not overwhelmed and to learn how to really be happy in their life, no matter what adversities they were going through, whether that is a global pandemic or, losing your job or getting diagnosed with cancer. You can have happy, joyful moments despite all of those things. And it has to do with where you focus your attention. So, noticing those happy moments and really letting them sink in is something that I think a lot of people don't do when they're experiencing an adversity or a stressful time in their life. They sink into that situation and all the good things just kind of get repelled off. It's like not accepting a compliment almost, it's like, "Oh, this is nothing, I just found this in the back of my closet," whatever it might be. It's not receiving the good. You got to let the good in too. The bad's going to figure out a way in. But when the good comes, you have to really let that sink in and really focus as much attention on that as you're focusing on the bad. And it makes a difference in how you feel. So what I saw in my cancer communities was that people weren't doing that, didn't know how to do that, didn't know how to take care of themselves in their mental health aspect of things. And I wanted to be able to impart some information on that. And I did. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed trying to be there for people in moments that were really tricky during their treatment, moments when they were sad and they were coming to the support groups trying to receive some help. And that was when I decided that I needed to expand my niche. So, beyond just doing the financial coaching, I started doing happiness and fulfillment coaching. And I really enjoy that because I can help my clients to start living a better life right now. I always tell, I, I always feel as if people think that they have to, um, they have to change everything in order to have a better life. And I really don't think that is the case. I think a lot of times you need to shift your perspective of how things are and see what you can do to feel better about that stuff. So that's what I focus on with my clients. We look at where are they now? What are they feeling right now? And, like what could they do to make it better? What's made it better in the past? What's what's something that's worked? What's something that they love to do? I like to make a list. Like what's everything that you like to do and like that you can easily do generally in the moment. And we start there and it's a beautiful thing. So I'm glad that you found me here, and I hope that we can spend some time together. I'd love to get to know you, and I'm happy for you to get to know me. So ask me some questions, reach out, grab some of the free resources that I have, and I look forward to growing together. Have a great day.